The following TGC program may not be rebroadcast or otherwise used without the express written consent of the Government Channel 5 or the City of Athens.
Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Carla Mullinex. This edition of Spotlight is devoted to recreation in Athens. Now, you've probably heard the city will soon build a new community center, and as you can see behind me, construction has already begun. Later on in the show, I'll speak with the city's Parks and Recreation Director about the building plans and why the city needs a news center. We'll also discuss some of the perks included in those plans. But first, Pete Gomez points out some of the differences between the existing center and the future center. All that and more coming up on Spotlight.
This is Spotlight, 1998. For Spotlight, here's Carla Mullinex.
Now, everyone knows with time comes change, and Athens will experience a major change when the city builds a new community center. As Spotlight's Pete Gomez reports, the new center will create some necessary changes, as well as create a forum for some already successful programs.
With the signs of spring back again, the City of Athens Parks and Recreation Department is gearing up for yet another busy summer, especially here at the East State Street Park and Recreation Center. However, in the near future, you might not be able to totally recognize these grounds. That's because the City of Athens is well on its way to finishing massive improvements to the Park District. The changes at the East State Street Park will have hardly come overnight, though. Up until early 1996, the community of Athens had unlimited access to Ohio University's Grover Center. Grover Center helped assist the community's need for recreation programs. However, that changed in January of 1996 with the opening of Ohio University's much-anticipated Charles Ping Center. Not only did it replace the Grover Center, but also started the ball rolling for a new Athens Community Center. Now, Grover Center is no longer an option for area residents, and the Ping Center and its fees were not meeting local needs. So attention focused in on the East State Street facility again. Former City Council member and chairman of the Streets and Recreation Committee, Scott Hunter, saw the opportunities for recreation decreasing given just the 5 existing Athens parks. Currently, the East State Street Park sits on 25 acres, and that'll just about double once the new improvements are in place. In addition to the bike path, the park is currently able to handle skateboarding, basketball, and other outdoor activities. Actually, with the new surfaces and increased space, it'll be easier to participate in these activities. The biggest difference, though, will be in the community center. This single room currently lacks the size necessary to run multiple programs at once. Often, the room would be shared and waited on by many groups and senior organizations. In the past, it has also been difficult for the children's summer camps. This center wasn't able to handle a large amount of kids looking to do different things. Former summer camp employee Stacy Dresser has seen the problems firsthand.
Well, with the old center, it was frustrating. There were a lot of conflicts among the children trying to run 2 different programs and different activities at the same time. And with the new center, it'll really give an opportunity to expand and to implement new activities that they've been trying to do but have been impeded by the lack of space.
By adding on to the center, the problems of the past should be able to be avoided, and the improvements should come as a relief to everyone. Reporting for Spotlight, I'm Pete Gomez.
One of the goals of the new recreation center is to attract people from outlying communities to local recreation programs. Next up on Spotlight, Kevin Schwartzoff and I discuss some of the goals, changes, and plans for the new community center. Stay with us.
Spotlight will return in a moment.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Parks and Recreation Director Kevin Schwartzoff. Kevin, thanks for joining me. We're standing at the site of the new community center. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, we've chosen to build our center at East State Street Park for a couple of reasons. One is we own the property currently, so we didn't have to purchase property. The other reason is our site needs to be built up out of the 100-year floodplain. And to do that, we're going to borrow dirt from Ohio University's land along the Hocking River, which is adjacent to the city park. So we're actually getting the fill for free. We just have to pay for the movement of that fill.
Construction crews are building a 6 to 8 foot thick pad of dirt. The new community center will sit on top of that hill, safe from flooding. Kevin, can you show me exactly where the new building will go?
Yeah, our site is here at East State Street Park between two of our existing parking lots. We have a grass area here that currently acts as our soccer fields. One of the nice things about us getting the property from Ohio University is eventually we're going to use that property that we borrow the dirt from as open space. So our soccer fields will move back closer to the Hocking River, but we won't lose green space in the park. We'll replace it with other space. It's going to go here in this green area. It'll be built up about 10 feet.
Was flooding a major problem with the old building? Is that?
Our current center doesn't get flooded, but the park itself is in the 100-year flood, and regulations, require that you do build at least 1 foot out of the floodplain. The area that the center is going in, though, does flood usually on an annual basis.
As Kevin and I walked the site, the ground gurgled with saturation, even at a time when the park had not been declared flooded. Raising the land above the level of the Hocking River should alleviate this problem. So why a new center?
About 9 years ago, we did a kind of a leisure study through a brochure that we put out. And at that time, the citizens of Athens expressed an interest in expanding on their recreation programs in their facilities. It took us about 3 years. We did some studies, we got some citizen input, and the voters approved a levy in the spring of 1996, an income tax increase to build the community center.
In addition to improved facilities and more space, the new center creates more benefits, 6 new jobs. Who already uses the center?
Currently, we do a lot of our programming at satellite places, city schools. We use the library. We've done things at the mall, Methodist Church. We have anywhere from 18-month-old children up to high school-age children now in our programs. We do some adult programming, but eventually we'll do senior programming in the new center.
Great. What happens to the old center?
At this point, we don't really know. It could be used by another city agency, possibly a nonprofit agency may have interest. It may be tore down with the street widening. We're not really 100% sure, or we're open to suggestions actually from the public.
So why was it decided a new building would be built instead of adding on to the old building or maybe renovating?
Yeah, the old building is actually a renovated airplane hangar. Very inadequate. Space-wise, there's not enough space around it to add on. We're adding on almost 50,000 square feet of programming space. We couldn't get near that much space around the existing building, and also it's just not a recreation center. It's an airplane hangar, and we wanted to build something that really met the needs of the public.
What is now East State Street Park was once an airport. As a Civil War memoriam, a group of 116 trees planted in the shape of a star still stands at the park. Each tree represents a soldier killed in the war. Though the trees add beauty to the park at the ground level, the star formation is clearly visible from the sky. Kevin says the formation will not be disturbed during construction. Now, Kevin, what will happen to the existing facilities here?
Yeah, along with the new center, we're not really affecting any of the existing rec facilities, the tennis courts, the basketball courts, the city pool. The only thing that will be moved is we have a temporary skate park that we're going to move another place in this park. But in our master plan, we actually have the plan to build a permanent concrete skate park along with some other added additions to the park. Those are a little more long range than what the community center is going to be. Their community center is happening now. The skate park and some of the other amenities probably won't happen for maybe 2 or 3 years. The need for the skate park kind of comes from our local DARE officer, Rick Crossan. He meets with the junior high kids and grade school kids, and they kept getting pushed off of city property and private property and city streets, and we thought, it's actually a sport, it's an athletic event. So if they're gonna do that, why not provide a spot for them to do the activity without being hassled all the time?
Great. Do you see a lot of kids come out here and use it?
It's our busiest facility here,
Really?
except for like the pool, but more kids skate than play tennis or play basketball or play soccer.
Citizens will find an alternative to the bike path in inclement weather. The entire second floor of the new center is designated as an indoor track.
Originally, we were going to build the center right here. Our first planner just said we should tear these courts out and build it here. We had a lot of negative feedback from people about that. Why tear out existing facilities and we were going to replace them? They thought, that's kind of a waste of money.
Kevin said that children will face the most obvious transitional period during construction.
They're going to lose some of their outdoor facilities. They aren't really going to lose anything indoors.
What will they gain?
Eventually they're going to gain a center that's got, arts and crafts, basketball, fitness, special rooms for computers, all kinds of different areas that they can program. Instead of just having one room, they'll have probably 10 rooms that they can use, all with different activities. So it'll be a lot nicer.
And when is construction?
If we begin construction next January, we'll be done about 14 months after that, so the spring of 2000.
Great.
So it's a pretty long ways away, but
It'll be worth it.
yes, it will.
In addition to programs offered by the community center, visitors here may find another recreational escape, literally. I'm standing on the center's on-ramp to the bike path. Spotlight's Dave Smolowitz tells us more.
With a length of over 16 miles and a route that runs parallel to the Hocking River, the Athens bike path has quickly become one of the city's most popular attractions. Since its completion in October of 1997, those who have used the path have said, "Why didn't we have this sooner?" Chairperson for the Bike Path Advisory Committee, Jim Schultz, says that the path has been nearly 20 years in the making.
It was designed in probably the late 70s, early 80s, and the concept came out of David Brennan, who was then with the tourist department, and he submitted a grant proposal for federal funding, which was available at that time, and it took clear till last year, it was finished in October of '97 to get it done. So I guess the steps that took were A, just coming up with the idea, B, finding the funding for it, which was available back then, and then getting the county commissioners and the city and everybody to work together, the Department of Transportation, to actually build it.
As with any project that involves Athens residents and members of Ohio University, safety is an issue. Schultz says that numerous steps and procedures were taken to ensure that those who use the bike path can use it without the fear of serious injury.
I think the potential for a car bicycle, a bicycle bollard, the bollards, the center posts in the middle, bicycle are far greater dangers. Obviously, there's plenty of opportunities for people to find themselves hurt on that path. What we've done is we've marked every half mile on the path in anticipation of people being able to say, we need help at this point, this mile marker. We're trying to keep safety in the forefront of all of our thoughts, but I also don't want it to inhibit the ability of us to use the path. I mean, if we make that perfectly safe, it's not going to be very much fun to use.
The bike path is maintained by the committee through a $10,000 allocation from the county commissioners. Most recently, the fund has been used to repair the damage from recent heavy flooding. Schultz says the committee may even look at repaving the path in the future as a way to keep the path safe and fun for the community. Hundreds of people have used the bike path since its inception. However, no official intention will be taken until after its first birthday. OU statistics classes will help the Athens committee come up with some general numbers for their study. Reporting for Spotlight, I'm Dave Smolowitz.
The bike path runs from Athens to Nelsonville, but there are plenty of entrances and exits for those looking for a shorter jaunt. When Spotlight continues, Gina Long takes a look at recreation with a little less pavement. And Kathleen Cochran finds out who keeps Athens recreational facilities looking beautiful.
Spotlight will return in a moment.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Carla Molinex. Though many people enjoy the programs provided by the Community Center, Gina Long shows us recreation with a little less structure.
The City of Athens does its best to keep its citizens active by providing them with many recreational facilities. Not only is the city home to the new Community Center, but it also houses 5 parks which consist of 106 acres of land. West State Street is a park located at the end of West State Street and consists of 35 acres of land. This park is a development that the community enjoys. It has several picnic areas and restrooms, a playground, and a small shelter house which can be reserved for special events. East State Street sits on 25 acres of land. The Community Center building is located here and it houses the park offices and the recreation department. Some special features of East State Street Park include tennis, racquetball, basketball, and volleyball courts. The area also includes a swimming pool, playground, jogging trail, and shelter that is available for citizens to rent. Many programs are held here, including swimming lessons and adult gardening classes. This is the beautiful Sells Park, which is a designated national recreation trail. It has several marked trails for those who enjoy hiking and nature walks. This 22 acres of land is located on Avon Street, which is accessible from East State Street. Along with nature trails, Sells Park also includes a scenic pond. The Southside Park is 16 acres of land that occupies Richland Avenue and Dairy Lane, and the Highland Park is 8 acres of land on Highland Avenue. Both of these parks are neighborhood parks that offer various outdoor recreational facilities. The parks provide a recreational outlet for families and businesses, and they help provide a place for all ages to enjoy the beauty of Athens. Also, the parks serve as a meeting ground for individuals and organizations to volunteer their time and services. This past Saturday, members of Ohio University's Greek Life donated time to clean up West State Street Park. They recently raised over $700 through a service auction, which will be used to purchase new playground equipment for the park. As Recreations Director, our Spotlight interview, Kevin Schwartzoff, is in charge of maintaining the parks. He said that everything went well Saturday, and they look forward to making it a yearly event. Reporting for Spotlight, I'm Gina Long.
To find out more about park activities, log on to the city's homepage at http://ci.athens.oh.us/recreation/index.htm. Hot weather increases the need for maintenance of city land, and the grounds crew is on the job. But as Spotlight's Kathleen Cochran reports, it's not always a typical day job.
It's springtime in Athens. The birds are singing, the flowers are blooming, and the city's Parks and Recreation's grounds crew is gearing up for its busiest season. It is early in the morning, and the crew is already hard at work mowing the lawn at the West State Street Park. This is just one of the many jobs the crew will encounter on a day-to-day basis. Parks and Recreation's Director Kevin Schwartzoff says there are 5 full-time crew members that work often 6 days a week. Their days are long, beginning at 7:30 in the morning and lasting until the job is done.
My average day is rec center to start with, cleaning it up, making sure all the trash is out, cleaning the restrooms. Then we go to all the other parks, clean the restrooms, make sure all the parks are clean as we can get them usually. And then we can do baseball fields, make sure all baseball has the fields ready so they can play that night. And then we mow, and if it rains, we try to do some maintenance on the mowers and stuff like that, and try to keep everything going for the next day.
Along with lawn mowing, tree trimming, and mulching, the crew also handles the maintenance of the lights, city's restrooms, the city pool, and the playground equipment, such as the slides and ladders seen here at the West State Street Park. Though the crew's busiest time of the year is during the spring and summer months, the crew stays active throughout the winter. Schwartzoff says when the weather is cold, the crew can be found painting and maintaining the recreation center, buffing floors, and improving equipment for the warmer months. As the weather gets warmer and the rain begins to taper off, the smell of grass and the buzz of mowers will be a constant for the 5 men who make up the grounds crew.
I like my job. I'm outdoors. I get to meet some people and stuff and help people out now and then. I really like it. You kind of have to have pride in your work. I mean, it's a hard job, but to keep pride in it, especially when people throw trash all over the place and all this stuff. But it's real nice, I think.
Reporting from West State Street Park, I'm Kathleen Cochran for Spotlight.
Each grounds crew project usually lasts several days. In fact, it takes 3 to 4 days to mow the city's parks and ball fields. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Spotlight. I'm Carla Mullinex. Thanks for joining us.
For everyone at Spotlight, I'm Dennis Cometti. Good night.